Hello and welcome to this month's Morally Ambiguous podcast. We're on episode 14, I think.
Isn't it 15? Wasn't 14 last time?
I don't know. I think last time was 13.
Someone will tell us. Someone will tell us.
Or I can just check the episode number when I'm editing and just adjust it accordingly.
And then edit out all this because we don't know what number it is anymore.
Yeah, as I'm sure you guessed, I'm here today with Tamaki. And it's just our two this week.
We lost Emily to a void-eating puppy. It was kind of tragic, but we are working on getting her back.
The void-eating puppy is also known as Weatherspoons, which is her work.
But it's like you only ever go into Weatherspoons for a curry. And I don't see how they can be busy any other day than curry Tuesday, Thursday. I've not been a student for a long time anymore. Well, I can't remember when curry day was.
We've seen the Weatherspoons here as like perpetually that state of business.
Oh yeah, we went in it and got drunk. And then they looked like there was those weird people having a drug deal upstairs.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting day. All these people dressed up as your atypical English chap. You've got your Nikes and you've got your Adidas and all
Adidas.
That. And Adidas. Now we're going to have people saying, is it said Adidas or is it said Adidas?
For years I called it Adidas, and then I heard it once being called Adidas, and now that seems to have just stuck because I think I've been saying it wrong all those years.
Well, it's like Nutella and Nutella, which is actually said Nutella, and people will ask me at work, oh, where's Nutella? And I'm like, excuse you, don't you mean Nutella?
I imagine you just be it's one of those, like, it's not bucket, it's bouquet moments.
It's not bucket, it's bouquet. I want a bucket of flowers, please. I've never had anyone ask me that. That would be rather disturbing. I might actually just give them a bucket of flowers if they ask for that. We'll see.
So, what have you been up to this last month then?
This last month's been pretty quiet for me, actually. I've been doing fuck all. Let's be honest, I don't do very much, as normal. But this month seemed to have just gone. Xander approached me a couple days ago going, we got to record a podcast. I was like, what date is it? I was like, fuck, it's already the 26th.
Don't timestamp this.
Now they know when we record, and now they know we're very unorganised. Apart from that, I've seen a few movies this month. I went to see a band called Eclipse in Nottingham. Ooh. That was quite fun. Yeah. You know what I said? I said I do nothing, but apparently I've done something. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet for me. What about yourself, Xander?
Well, what movies did you see?
I went and saw the Power Rangers movie, which was as cheesy as anyone could think. Sadly, though, there was not a scene where they decided to backflip out of the scene.
Right,
that was
okay.
Disappointing. And I saw Logan as well.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Because I was expecting you to say that you'd seen Ghost in the Shell.
No.
That was
I've never seen the anime.
I was going to say that was an almost very defiant no.
No, like it's like how somebody approached me and they're like, "Oh, did you see the new Death Note thing they're doing on Netflix? I bet you're gonna watch that." And I nearly threw up.
Just no.
I don't like Death Note. Like, there you go. There we go. We can start already on something that's
vaguely controversial. Yeah.
Vaguely controversial. Vaguely morally and ambiguous all in one.
I can already immediately think of at least one person who would be angry with you saying that.
And are they here? They're not, so they can't get angry at me. Probably half the internet would get angry at me. They're like, how dare you? How very dare you say that about Death Note?
A large portion of weeaboos will be very disappointed in you, Tamaki. They're shaking their Notice Me Senpai hats at you.
That sounds like they're all like Trump supporters with the Trump hats and Make America Great Again. They just have Miku on their hats.
Miku!
Make Miku great again.
A statue to my goddess Miku.
A statue to my god. I can't do the voice anymore. That's a classic.
That's
classic.
That's a moment from time gone by.
It's a moment from the forest.
I was
14.
I was doing some sort of preemptive research for this, and
Holy fuck, one of us researchers.
the thing that made me do this preemptive research was I've noticed a fucking shit ton of games being released so far.
They are squirting them out. The AAAs, the indies, they've really
I feel
gone on
like
it.
half my time between doing this whole work experience thing that I've got myself into has been playing the 3 games that have stolen my attention and my heart, and looking up the reviews and things for these new games that just have been exploding into the limelight. I think the latest one, I think, which came out either yesterday or the day before, was Dawn of War 3.
Yeah, it came out of beta, did it not?
Yeah, it's finally officially released, along with Outlast 2.
Yeah.
That's been released. Bayonetta has been re-released now for PC. That's now available on Steam.
We needed to feel more like a fucking celebrity.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
All day, every day, pillow talk.
All day, every day. Pillow talk.
The game What Remains of Edith Finch is out of beta and has been officially released on PC and PS4. And Little Nightmares, which I've been sort of secretly looking forward to.
There's just a shit ton of games. Like half of these games I've not even heard of. Like,
well, you know
What
about
Remains of Edith Finch.
Well, you know about Dawn of War 3 and Outlast 2 and Bayonetta, of course.
I know that much. Yeah, I know that much. But this Edith Finch one, I've been seeing the name, but I haven't seen anything on it.
I've only gleaned stuff from random tidbits that I've found on the internet. And What Remains of Edith Finch is sort of it's a bit of a storyteller game. Like it's more like an interactive story. It
like
tells
Dear Esther and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sort of tells the story of this one lady, but through lots of different stories that are quite twisted. I can't really say much more than that because I'm not entirely sure, but that is what I've gathered from this, is that it's like a little collection of short stories, but each short story is about as weird and wonderful as the next, and can be quite creepy, I guess. Like there's one which I'm sure you like play as a cat, the other where you're just sort of a shark, I think.
Wait, are you meant to be playing as the horrific thing in the scene?
Yeah, from the looks of it, yeah. And
I mean,
Nightmares,
sharks and cats aren't the same level of horrific, but yeah.
Yeah. And Little Nightmares has been this little gem that people have kept on pointing me towards, and for good reason, because it's stylized very much like a Tim Burton movie. It's like a side-scroller puzzle game / thriller suspense thing. You're playing as like a little girl on board this huge ship that's full of cannibals who just want to like scoop you up and eat you, and you have to solve puzzles in each room, hide away from the cannibals, and sort of escape. And just the style of it is just very Tim Burton-esque, and it's it's primarily for that reason that people have been pointing me towards it.
It's a very interesting style. As I said, like as you're saying, Tim Burton style. It's got like the exaggerated side and like
exactly, yeah.
Everything is exaggerated in a horrific way, and the colors are gloomy and like washed out and bleak, and it does look like a beautifully artsy game.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a little bit of a trend with these sort of ones now. These sort of platform-esque type games that are making a bit of a comeback. As I know, a year or so ago we had Ori and the Blind Forest was a particularly popular game.
There are a lot of old school platformer games coming back. I think it's because we've reached the point where the people as children who played side-scrolling games are now making games, and they want to make what they played
It's
when
like
they were
these
younger.
games were so good. Why don't we have anything like this nowadays? Amongst all like the Call of Duty and the uh, shitty movie games.
But hey, even Call of Duty has decided that, you know what, it was better in Call of Duty 1 and 2 than it is now, and has decided to make Call of Duty World War 2, just in case we forgot
Well, because
what war it was.
Well, because we had World at War, which was the first World War, I think. Or was it the second? I'm not sure.
No, Call of Duty have always only done the Second World War. It was Battlefield 1 that was the one that went to World War 1, which
Yeah.
was interesting and a new take. And I think in a cynical way, Activision saw how well that did and went, fuck it, people want old school wooden rifles again and not space battles.
People want to go back to the dark ages of war and just poke each other with a pointy stick.
People just want to shoot Nazis.
Clan Wars, that'll be the next game from Activision. You got a fucking bow and
Call
arrow.
of Duty Primal.
Yeah, exactly. You got a bow and arrow and, a very sharp rock. And that's basically...
The one thing that annoys me about a lot of modern shooters now is that they all seem to have a bow in them. And I'm like, who? Who is taking a bow with them to a battlefield?
The person who doesn't want to make a racket by going bang.
You put a silencer on your gun, and then you have an effective projectile weapon that...
But a silencer still makes a noise. It doesn't immediately block out every single, decibel of noise from the gun. Guns are fucking noisy.
Arrows still make noises.
No, they don't.
The wind pressure, the drawing of the creaking of the bow. There is noise, definitely.
I challenge you to use a compound bow or a composite bow, whatever it's called now, and measure the noise it makes, because I can guarantee you there is not a single noise that a composite or compound, whatever fucking type of thing it is, makes.
This is ambiguous science right now. I feel like if it makes
We're
even a decibel of sound...
Guns versus bows, oh god. Upset. This was not the direction I had this planned.
No, but that's the beautiful thing about free-form podcasting.
Oh god. It's free-form, but I made notes. I had I had an idea of where the conversation might be headed, and this just took a left turn down, not this way, Vil.
But you can tell if you're talking to me about something, I'm going to pick up on the most irrelevant thing in the conversation and want to talk about that.
True.
Should we get back on topic?
Yeah. There was actually a game coming up that I figured you might be interested in. I don't know if it is exclusively for the Switch or not. But they have a new Fire Emblem game coming out.
Oh, is this Fire Emblem Echoes?
It is coming out 19th of May.
It's on the DS. There's something very sad about the story of Fire Emblem Echoes. I've lost the ability to speak now. Echoes. The entire game ROM was leaked a week before it released in Japan, which has led to low sales of the game in Japan, which is tragic. Because this was a franchise for Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem. I'm not very good at it. I'm pretty shit, let's be honest. But back when Awakening was made, back in 2011, I believe now, that was going to be the final Fire Emblem game. The company, Nintendo, the people who made it, I can't remember their name right now, that's very rude of me, thought that was it for the series because the sales weren't good. And then Fire Emblem Awakening sold really well. So they made Fates, and Fates sold very well as well. Then with Echoes, they were hoping to recapture that Kindle again because it's a remake of an older Fire Emblem game with different mechanics and maybe some of the more modern mechanics in it. I'm very much looking forward to it. But the ROM got leaked. And so people have just been playing it on emulators.
I find the people who sort of invest in these leaks are really, really shitty people. I mean, that I liken that to basically piracy, like getting a whatchamacallit, I forgot the term. like
Whoops.
basically like a hacked version of games. It's like it is basically piracy. Like
Well,
you're
no,
investing in a
it's
game
100%
before
piracy.
it was released, and
Well, it's more that they've released a game for free before it's released anywhere else. Now, yes, it's a dick move. It's 100% a dick move, but people are going to take things for free, especially if they're super excited for it.
well, I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know.
my problem with it is that this is partly what caused problems with Pokemon Go. Is that
Mhm.
some Pokemon Go was leaked before it was ever officially released. As a
Yeah,
result, hundreds of thousands of people began effectively illegally downloading um, the the uh, the leak of Pokemon Go, which prompted Niantic to then preemptively or release Pokemon Go too early, so it was never
yeah.
actually properly finished. So, and then people started complaining that had all this problem. It's like, well, are you really fucking surprised? You downloaded a game like several months too early before it was like completely finished beta testing and had all like the kinks ironed out of it. And it's exactly the same problem that I'll find that I think Fire Emblem is going to have is the fact that it probably wasn't quite finished yet before the leak started happening. So
I feel the issue with Fire Emblem and Niantic, there's going to be a difference here. The Fire Emblem game would have probably have gone golden, which means it would have been finished and just being printed. I have a feeling that the leak was just the whole game, and if the bugs were in there, they will be bugs that will be in the release copy.
oh
But with Niantic, it's different because what was leaked was a code of the game before Niantic had finished it. And the
yeah
nature of Pokemon Go is it's a game that will be constantly updated.
yeah
So, well, Fire Emblem Echoes may get DLC and whatnot, but it's not a game that's reliant on constant updates.
no
The
true
issue, the issue of Echoes is if anyone's pirated it, which some people do, there's children who don't have jobs, there's people who are just dicklords, there are people who, hey, this game's out early, other people are going to download it and I don't want spoilers and I don't want to be left behind, so I'm going to download it. That's it's a dick move. That's what people think. But the issue is then there's just no point for them to buy the game when it's released because they've played the whole game. They've probably finished it by the time that it comes out in Japan. This was a couple of days before it was going to be released in Japan, and it's a couple of months before it's been released elsewhere in the world. It is
yeah
very, very bad. And I mean, I am excited for Echoes. Yes, definitely. But that's just like the sad side of this game's release.
it is I think the people who download this are also the ones who are kind of wanting the instant gratification. They're just like, I'm not going to wait for this at all. I want it now. I want to play it now. I want to be the person to get the early scoop.
Yes. I mean, it's like a journal. If you leaked something to a journalist, like a story like fake news time, Trump sets fire to Christian bunnies. And this, you're told this and you're like, we are going to speak in a press conference about this beforehand, but we're going to do it in a couple of days. That journalist is going to go sell that story so someone can print it beforehand.
Yeah,
Because that's just how people are. I mean, news and video games are two different things, but people will always want to be, as you said, in the scoop, in the loop, ahead of the curve, all of these great, and I was going to say aneurysms, that's not the word.
no, not
Analogies
aneurysms.
is the word, not aneurysms. These people don't want aneurysms, everyone.
My brain is literally exploding.
It's so excited for Echoes, it killed itself.
No, that is quite a sad story for Fire Emblem, but at the same time, I think it'll do well. I mean, it has a fan base. It's got quite a loyal fan base. I mean, you've repeatedly gone back to it when it's been released. So
Yeah. I mean, a super loyal fan base. It's probably a small fan base, but there's a super loyal fan base, and people fucking love Fire Emblem.
Emblem.
Fire Emblem. Look, I'm not even drunk. This is just me normally. the problem.
Oh dear. So,
Oh dear.
what have you actually been sort of playing lately then? I noticed you were playing Final Fantasy before
Uh,
before you joined me here.
Before recording, yes, because well, Stormblood is less than a month away. Well,
About
just
a
over a
month.
month away. Yeah, a month or so away. Maybe 2 months. It's the 20th of June it's coming out.
Yeah, over a month.
And I want to get ready. I want to finish the story. I want to get as geared as possible. You know, the typical RPG MMO player stuff. I want to be ready so that when
I want to
I play
gear
that
myself.
game, all my gear.
I want to gear myself as much as possible so that I can instantly replace it in the first quest.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly. It sounds a bit silly.
It
But
does.
I just want to. I just want to get ready for it. I want to be prepared. I want to be able to stroll into Stormblood and be like, I'm here, bitches. It's time. I am now Red Mage. I now burn and sword. This is what
Burn
I
and
do.
sword.
I burn and sword. I burn and sword. Apart from that, I've been playing... What have I been playing? Bits and bobs of things, really. League of Legends. I played a little bit of Ark, even though I'm not a massive fan of
LOL.
Ark.
I saw that you
Ark.
bought Ark Survival recently. What's your gripes with with Dino Simulator 2016?
It's the same gripe I have with any of these survival games. In
Right.
that, I find them boring. I find there's nothing to do. And then you find something to do, and then you get killed by something, and you lose all the progress you had. And I'm like, this isn't fun.
The
This is
thing that I
annoying.
have with Ark Survival or similar games like Rust or something
Yeah.
is there experiences that are better shared with people.
Definitely.
Because you can work together. There is a social element to it. And obviously progress is doubled by the fact that you've got 4 hands working on something rather than just 2. But at the same time, it's like your experiences in these games. It's a bit like someone telling you the dream they had last night. You listen with sort of feigned interest.
You're just like, it's one of those moments you had to be there for. And as you said, they are social games, but in my wizened old age, I've become less sociable with people in games. Like, I want to just play games on my own now. I'm much more interested in single-player experiences than I am in the big sort of... It's kind of strange for somebody coming from an MMO point of view, but I never really, I'm not in a free company in Final Fantasy. When we played WoW again, I wasn't wanting to join a guild.
Yeah, neither of us were particularly interested in the whole, actual mass multiplayer element. It was just like, oh, we're just playing with each other.
Yeah, I like the games. I'll play with Xander. I know Xander, that's fine. But some people definitely play these games just to talk to people. And that's why things like, I guess, Second Life is just popular, because it's a giant chat simulator, pretty much. Welcome to Chat Simulator.
Second Life. I remember that
Don't
game.
remember it, it's still around. But yeah, this is the issue I have with Ark, with the Forest as well. It falls into the same category, and
this big
Minecraft and stuff like that.
A lot more games recently have this social aspect. Online gaming is larger now than it ever has been. So a lot of games are sort of hopping on this hype train.
Just give me a scoreboard with Wesley Snipes X256 at the top of it, and just that's all I want with my interaction with other people who play the game, just to see what their score was, and I'll be like, that's fine. That's all I need. I don't need somebody telling me that my dinosaur needs to fuck another dinosaur. I'm like, I don't care about dinosaur fucking.
I don't always need to breed.
I don't always need to breed. And the other thing with Ark is, and the other survival games, is they're so in-depth and you have to put loads of time into things, and it's just like, I don't have the time to be bothered with that anymore. I want quick and easy satisfaction, not spending hours and hours just pounding at things. Quick and easy.
You can go to Amsterdam for that.
You go to Amsterdam for the hours and hours of pounding. Or how much you pay for it. That's a bit rude. Amsterdam's a lovely place.
Oh, I'm not denying that, but it's a lovely place in many different regards. So
Has a flavour
what
for
have I been
everyone.
playing lately? I've been playing a fair amount of Horizon Zero Dawn. So I've been chasing down and dying many times to giant animal robots that I'm still trying to work out why they turned into animals.
The mysteries of life.
Well, the big mystery in the game is supposed to be like, well, where did the main character come from? But so far, my big question has been, how did machines suddenly decide to adopt these sort of animalistic qualities? Well, you've got these giant, oversized, what I can only describe as like antelope crossed with stag things, with gas canisters on their back that explode when you shoot them. And it's like, well, how did this become a thing?
If the machines were evolving for like a survival purpose, why would they evolve with a gas can on their back? Doesn't make sense.
No, but I'm assuming I'll learn more as I play through the story. I have been finding it as well as very challenging. It's been extremely fun, just learning the
Have you
sorts of
found
things
that
that you can do.
her name's really annoying? Aloy.
Aloy, yeah,
Aloy. They
it's
won't say it properly. Say Alloy. Nope, Aloy.
Aloy. When you had like this, I didn't know what her name was to begin with. So we had this big intro cutscene, and you had this big build up as, you know, oh, we're going to go to the mountain to speak her name, which we shouldn't do with the Elder's Blessing because we're cast out and such. But, you know, I'm going to go up here and speak her name anyway. It's like, oh, it's going to be like a really cool name. And, you know, there's this lots of exposition before you do it, and then finally does it, and it's like, speak her name, and he holds up this baby like in a Lion King type of way, and just shouts, Aloy, and I'm like, Aloy? Really?
you know that the only reason she's called that is the voice actor fucked up and they couldn't afford to do another take. So they were just like, fine.
We're out of studio time, that's it. It's gonna have to be that now.
Because they did that last.
Oh, did
for
they?
some reason. I don't know, did they? I mean,
Oh,
that
right.
would make sense because everyone else would call her Alloy. So they must have done it first.
Yeah, it's just the dunce that is the absentee father figure in
And they just
the
couldn't get
beginning of
hold
the
of
game.
the voice actor to do
Yeah,
it again.
Aloy.
So Aloy, it stuck. And that is the secret to why she's called Aloy.
What else have I been playing? Factorio's been a bit of a biggie that I've been obsessing over.
Building a rocket to space in a 2D plane.
It's sort of 2D fake 3D type thing. It's quite a bizarre
2.5D.
You put 2.5D, that would be a thing.
I think
But
it is a thing.
It's a very satisfying game. Like, sure, the graphics aren't like on par with a lot of games at the moment, and its color palette can be very much described as late autumnal.
Late autumnal color palette. That's
Yep.
beautiful.
Lots of brown and grey, and but it's the satisfaction of creating all this automation. Like, you go from chopping down trees and manually like picking for coal and iron to suddenly having this fully automated system where everything's being mined for you, which is then being conveyor belted over to this other machine that will assemble it into something else which you need to make something else, which will then, you know, go off to go and be researched, and you'll eventually have rockets and you can have resources trained in from miles across the map. Like, freaking trains. You can create a complete, like, locomotive system for transporting huge amounts of goods across the map, and then having to battle aliens at the same time because you're creating a heck of a lot of pollution and they're not too happy about it. It's a very satisfying thing to do, but definitely something you'd need someone else to do with, as I've found, because it just gets to the extent where there's just a lot going on, and trying to keep track of it is a challenge.
again, it sounds like one of these games with a lot of a boring grind in the middle. And you're
Not
sort of
really.
just like,
Not
not
really.
really? Not really? I
Because
suppose
as
all
you're
these sources
researching
being
things,
gathered.
well, as you're researching things, it obviously you're developing new technologies that you can use to adjust your factory with. So you can get like faster conveyor belts, electric drills, electric furnaces, stuff to make your factory much more economic. And it's great being able to sort of make these sort of tweaks here and there, and then sort of I know you can choose one path where you can actually introduce like drones and robots to do half of your work for you, which is a bit like activating cheat mode really, which is why I'm not really that interested in doing it. But being able to do that is like a huge step forward in the factory, so you can leave them to do their bits while you go off and sort of do something new. And there are different ways you can run your factory.
Is the end goal of Factorium just to make it so the game plays itself? Because that's what it's sounding like at the moment. Like,
eventually,
the trains are automated and the alien defense force is automated. So actually, I just stand here and let the game run in the background.
Eventually, yes. It's sort of the idea is to make sure that it will eventually get to a point where you are running sustainably and automatically, so that you can work on getting a rocket to space. But obviously there's a lot of problem solving involved, so like if something goes wrong, it's being able to isolate what the problem is, fix it, or replace it.
I suppose most of the problems boil down to an alien just twatted my conveyor belt. Why would you do this, alien? Stop.
Or that, and it's resource management, because obviously you don't want to be running off coal the whole time. So it's eventually researching solar power. Then you have to counter the fact that solar power only really works through the day, so you've got to research accumulators, which are like giant oversized batteries. So kind of being able to have more solar panels so that you can have surplus power, which is going into your accumulators, which you can then run off overnight. And it's lots of these little sort of problem solving things and building defenses.
Lots of problem solving. It sounds like an engineer's wet dream. It sounds like an engineer comes home from making an engine at work or something. That's what engineers.
It's satisfying actually getting to see the results is what I'm getting at, and it's definitely something that I would love to play with you and Emily. I think it'd be a great game to actually get involved in.
Be prepared for me to be like exceedingly bored and run at things all the time. Like I'll play it, but these things aren't really on my radar.
I think
to play.
If you give it a chance, it might surprise you. It surprised me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think much of it when I first got it, and most of my exposure to it was from the Oxcast live streams. And even Lewis and Duncan said, you know, it's a pretty boring, nerdy kind of game. Looks a bit like shit, but yeah, keep watching.
Keep watching, guys. I swear it gets better when we get automated defense aliens.
But the big game that's been on my radar at the moment that I got was Overwatch. I finally got into Overwatch.
Welcome to Overwatch.
Yeah, pretty much. Just sort of the moment that happened, I was like, okay, let's do this. So I did like the tutorials, and I did the like little training mode where you can try out some of the heroes, champions, characters, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called.
I believe they are called heroes for the sake of having the correct terminology. That's it. Because I always get confused because League of Legends called them champions, and I want to call them heroes because I get my head stuck in Dota for some reason.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting sort of how they've created such a huge spectrum of characters. Like, it's not that there's a lot of them, it's just the fact that they are so remarkably different to each other. So you'll have that there is guaranteed to be like a character for someone.
Yeah,
out of this whole roster.
It's one of those games that's very open. It's very everyone can play because there's somebody that will fit somebody's play role. If you're not very good at shooting, you can play Mercy because you can heal people. And
you just run behind
around.
people and buff them.
And you shout at them when they die. That's how it works. But then you can play people like McCree because you really like breaking your wrist aiming with your gun. Or Soldier 76 because you played nothing but Call of Duty for the last
Dad
4
76,
years.
as Emily calls him.
Dad 76. But what surprised me about Overwatch the most is the vast and like overwhelmingly different amount of porn that you can just find for it.
It's the porn.
It's the porn. This is why people play it. It's the porn that brings people into Overwatch. It's all about picking your favorite guy or girl and seeing them get nailed by Hanzo or Roadhog or something like that. My favorite is Zarya and Roadhog porn because those two...
don't. Zarya is my main character at the moment. Don't do this to me.
Don't ruin my ship. I don't ship her with Roadhog. And that's what it comes down to. It's nerdy people liking a game that has great mechanics, liking porn, and liking shipping things.
I'm just waiting for the yaoi between Junkrat and Hanzo.
The best one's with Korean Hanzo. That's everywhere. That stuff is dime a dozen. You need the rare stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a rare combination, but there probably isn't anymore. Bastion and Genemy, but you know what? People are probably into that. Bird robot fucking.
Oh no.
Oh no, created more Overwatch. Like, we needed more. Sorry, you probably wanted to talk about the game and not the amount of disgusting imagery people
not
created.
Discussing further the rules. Rule 43?
Rule 34. Come on, get it the right way around. Don't pretend you didn't know.
I do this with Agent 76. I kept getting the numbers the wrong way around.
76. He's now Hitman.
67? 76? What is it?
Soldier 76, not Agent 76.
That was the thing I kept calling him as Agent. I was confusing the fuck out of Emily. 76. Agent 76, and she's like, what? It's like,
what? Who?
Well, because he looks like an agent to me. He doesn't look like a soldier. He looks like a super spy.
We're all agents now.
And because I got the Origins edition, I've got like the suave version of him with the blue coat.
Oh, the young version of him, not daddy form, but actual young, fit, active man form. But then all his lines don't make sense. Like when he's like, I'm too old for this. But you're like, you're a young, sprightly young man in his 30s. Soldier makes no sense.
Maybe he's talking about playing with action men.
Oh my god. Do you think he has a penis? If he's an action man, do you think he's just like flat down there?
He just stuffs socks down there. Just to make it look like he has something.
That's what most players of Soldier 76 do anyway.
Ooh!
Catfight!
Yeah, they just spam the dad missiles and just go about their day.
Dad missiles. Like every time I play Soldier 76, I need to use his ult to hit things. But when someone else is playing 76, they just seem to be able to hit me no matter what.
That's the thing that irks me about this game, but I also quite like, is that, the idea of play of the game. The number of people who basically press triangle and win. Or to spam ultimate because you play it on PC.
This week actually I was playing some Overwatch and I got the world's worst play of the game.
Really?
This is not even using an ultimate. I was playing Reaper. And the only reason I think I got it was because I assisted in killing somebody who was ulting. But I just walked forwards, shooting my shotguns from too far away to do any damage. You could see in the kill feed that I didn't actually kill anyone. I was just helping out. But it was my play of the game for some reason.
I can top you there. I started out with Symmetra as my main character. And my play of the game... I had died and was walking back to the main battlefield, but in that time, my turrets were annihilating people. So my play of the game was me, through my eyes, walking back to the battlefield and just seeing me getting kills on the kill feed.
This is why I think Symmetra's turret should be disabled when she's dead, just for play of the game purposes. I mean, it unbalances the character completely and no one will ever play her again, but
no, I feel like just to keep this sort of this hilarity of people kind of going, oh, this person got played the game, what did they do? And then just seeing me walk back to the battlefield after I died.
amount of player the games I've seen of Torbjorn just looking at like a wall.
Oh yeah,
is
because of
ridiculous.
his turret
Yeah, he's
doing
just like, oh, the
something.
turret does it. It's fine.
Just
Oh,
press
problem
triangle and
solved.
it, fires double.
Double. It becomes the sentry from Team Fortress 2 if you use goal. But that's literally what they've done. They've taken TF2 and a few other games and just sort of mashed them together in this
Yeah.
Overwatchy, like, mud pie.
Overwatching Mud Pie.
I'd love
Roadhog will be
Overwatching
happy.
mud pie. Say
Um,
bacon one more time.
yeah. And I've also noticed how it brings the worst out in Emily. It really does.
Brings the worst out in everyone. The game's so toxic.
The whole thing about esports is pretty toxic, and that actually goes into actually what I wanted to talk about originally, which was the the big thing that Beth was hounding me about that she wanted to know.
Oh.
What are your thoughts on in-game metas?
I have never, back in my day, since World of Warcraft, since that was the big game I started to play where you could see some sort of meta happening, never liked the idea of a meta. But
No, I
there are
haven't.
things that you just can't get away from because the way that games like League of Legends, like Overwatch, like Dota, will always have the most viable choices, I think, in the game.
And any game that has sort of a stats-based system will have a meta.
Well, it's in Overwatch, it turns down to people would rather play Soldier 76 than McCree because Soldier is easier to play.
Yeah, you can get kills quite easily.
More. Yeah, he can do more. He can get kills easily. People probably argue. Some people would like, yeah, but McCree can two-shot people. But not everyone, and you have to be good at McCree. It's the same with things like why Winston can't be too strong, because Winston doesn't have to aim. Like,
he
if they buffed
runs
Winston,
forward.
all he does is, like, look in the general direction of someone and they die. It's the same in League of Legends where they're constantly changing numbers in people's stats and stuff, and someone will come out on top. Someone always does.
Yeah, they try so hard to create a sort of a balance, but they end up just shifting the meta slightly.
Yeah, they'll like bring somebody down. Say they nerfed Soldier. Well, then McCree would start being played more because now McCree's slightly better. And then they nerf McCree, and then somebody else will just be better. Everyone will start playing Tracer. Who knows? Because she does more damage. And then they bring Tracer down, and everyone goes, actually, Soldier wasn't all that bad, so we'll play Soldier again. And it's this constant up and down in a game that will cause a meta to happen. Metas have to happen because people are looking for the most efficient way to play the game.
Are you the kind of person? Are you the kind of person that would basically like see a meta and then just take a right turn and just go off and sort of do your own thing then?
Not 100%. I'm somebody who will accept the meta's there and accept that people are going to be playing those meta things, and sometimes I will play the meta things. But at the end of the day, I'm here to play the game for fun. I'm not all that bothered about winning all that often. I'll do my best. I will try and win. I'm not saying that I'm going to roll over and pick like Junkrat because I want to fucking play Junkrat for some reason. No. But like that's the point. Like I will pick something that I feel comfortable with playing even if it's not in the meta. So I'm comfortable as playing as like say Ana. And although Ana in Overwatch was the meta for a while and is still a very popular pick.
She's a very challenging character.
She is, but even if they nerfed her into the ground, I'd probably still play her because I like how she plays.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's sort of like I will play what I like and fuck you guys for thinking otherwise. It's in League of Legends, that sort of stuff's bypassed because there are bans in the competitive games and you can ban champions that people think are meta. So you'll see people ban Katarina because she's just too easy to get multi-kills with. Yeah. And you'll see people ban Graves because he's just too good in the jungle and stuff like this.
Yeah, I like the idea of like banning the meta as like, screw the top heroes, we're going to play this our way.
But then even by introducing that into the game, you start to get a new meta out of the
Yeah.
people who are left, and then they start getting banned, and then the people who are overpowered start getting picked. And it's just a constant cycle. Metas are always going to be there in games like this. There's just no way to get out of it. There's probably metas in single-player games as well. There's probably like the best Skyrim build because this is how it... I don't know. What's the word? I've forgotten the word. I've lost the word. The word is gone. My point being, it's exploits. That's it. Exploits
That's the one.
The system. Yeah. How best this like maxing sneak because everyone seems to be a fucking idiot, and you can then crouch in front of them and insta kill everyone. That's probably a great build in Skyrim.
Yeah, it's always been, I think, the biggest difference between, for example, how Jack would game and how I would game. So, Jack would actually go out of his way to get like max stats thing. Like the way he plays Pokemon Go is he'll try and track down the Pokemon that has the highest IVs. And will keep recycling until he gets that Pokemon the IVs and the best moves so that he can hold gyms longer or get an easy win or something like that.
Yeah, and people find fun playing games that way as well, and that's why metas end up the way they do, because people will have fun playing in the min-maxed way of the game.
Well, what got me was that he names his Pokemon the IV stats that they are. So they're basically what I call their slave numbers.
Wow, and that's kind of scary.
And then you compare it to mine, where they've all got, these dumb as fuck nicknames that are loosely related to what they are or what their moves are. Like I've got a Totodile who knows Crunch, or he's a Crocodile now who knows Crunch, who I've called Captain Crunch.
Yeah. And you haven't looked into the IVs of this guy, and you haven't like ummed and ahed about recycling him. He's Captain Crunch. He's your faithful, loyal little crocodile.
If he can hold his own, that's fine. That's good. I'll give him a name that he will probably hate me for, and be on my merry way.
But I think even in like tabletop games and role-playing games, there's always the best strategy. So that even has a meta. There's always the best way to play these games, and that, like, we can sit here, we can go, I don't like meta because I'm cool and hipster.
we're basically game hipsters. We don't like these things because they're popular. We would rather just do away with it.
Yeah, but if a game truly had balance, I think it would be the worst game ever.
It probably would. You
boring.
Lose the competitive edge then.
Yeah. And I mean, it comes completely down to skill then. Like, if everyone had the same gun, the same health, the same abilities, everything was kosherized like that, I don't think I'd have a fun experience. Unless the gameplay was frantic and fast.
Yeah. I can appreciate, like, if there wasn't a meta and it being down to skill, because then at least it's truly down to skill and not, this person played as this character, therefore he won.
But a part of Overwatch, definitely, is character picks.
Yeah.
It's skill and character picks, because you could be the worst Soldier 76, but if they had a team of people who couldn't do anything about Soldier 76 because no one counters him and he's strong against everyone there, you'd probably do all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like say they had somebody who couldn't just do as much damage as Soldier 76 in a duel, so you'd win most duels as long as your crosshair was sort of hitting them.
Just vaguely, yeah.
Vaguely, yeah. And then it's the same with like if they had no one with long enough range and they were all melee, so you just stand miles away from them and shoot them.
Yeah. Unless you're Reinhardt.
Right. Who might charge you, but even then, Soldier 76 can sprint away, so you just sort of run off.
Yeah.
Dave, I mean, Reinhardt does good against Soldier 76 because he's got a shield, but Soldier also chews through that shield very quickly.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, a part of the skill is to accept the meta, and know how to exploit the meta.
Yeah. Also how to counter it, which is always fun.
Yeah, so if somebody's picked soldier, then you might pick somebody who can deal with soldier quite effectively.
Yeah.
People always like to say, this is my favorite one, people always like to say Soldier 76 and McCree and other hit scan people counter Farah.
Oh, what was hit
They
scan
say
again?
that.
Isn't that where there's no travel time for the projectile?
no
It literally
travel
just
time,
immediately
so-
hits.
If you have your crosshair on them and press the button at the same time, it just hits them. That is hit scan. Whilst projectile is like Farah's rocket. It will actually have a physical hitbox itself, and it will take time to get there.
Yeah.
So people say Soldier 76 counters Farah. That's true if it's in the right situation. But most of the time, Farahs know that, and they will exploit the weaknesses of Soldier 76, meaning that he can't do anything to her.
Yeah.
Soldier 76 has weapon damage fall off. So after a certain range, he's doing less damage when he shoots someone, to the point where he might just be doing piddling damage to someone.
She'll just stay as far and as high away as possible.
It's possible. Farah doesn't have this. She can fire a rocket across the map and
it'll still do the same damage. Yeah.
Which is the same in a close combat scenario with Soldier as well. If she gets the jump on him, he's dead in 2 rockets. It takes him longer to kill Farah than it does. And I find it hilarious when people are like, oh, why is the Soldier not focusing the Farah? Sometimes you're trying to, and you can't because they are playing in such a way that means you just can't deal with her. But that's like the one thing I wanted to bring up. Like, people go on about counters, but they're not set in stone. And that's why I think metas can be wriggled through.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most of my Overwatch career so far has been wriggling through the meta.
Just wriggle with it. Worm and wriggle through the meta and you'll do fine.
I don't really know what the meta is at the moment. I don't know whether my mains are part of the meta or not, but quite frankly, I feel like by not knowing, I'm not part of the meta.
And that is to your detriment and to your success as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I think when I first started, Emily was pretty much going, when I was playing as Symmetra, she's like, okay, you want to put your turrets here, and then you teleport, you pretty much just want to like hide it away so no one can find it. I'm like, oh, right, okay. Pretty much following her lead. And then my main sort of switched when I was forced to, I wouldn't say forced, but I decided to give tanking a go, and then suddenly, hey, Zarya became my main, and has been since.
Oh yeah, and that's the interesting thing about Zarya, because Zarya works at her best against people who are stupid enough to shoot at her.
Yes.
Like, people can counter Zarya by when her bubble comes up, just stopping, just not engaging. Yep. So it becomes a game of I'm going to shoot you, Zarya, but you're going to put up your barrier at some point.
Yeah.
And that's when I've got to stop shooting you.
Yeah, it's all about timing.
That's another thing, like, all about timing. And she can save people with the shield she can give out as well. She's like a support tank. It's a very nice little niche-y sort of gameplay thing.
I think that's why I quite like her, because there's the support element there. That's pretty much why I excel.
A ton of damage. That's the one problem I have with the tanks in Overwatch. Is a lot of them just do a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, they're beefy and can kill.
Yeah,
like Roadhog. Roadhog is a bit lethal.
Roadhog is the pick master. You hook someone, you shoot them in the face, they die.
Yes. Nine times out of 10, yes, they will die unless it's another tank.
Even another tank might not do well.
Well, that's why I find that Zarya is actually quite good against Roadhog, because the moment he hooks me, I pretty much just stick a shield on and he just blows the shield.
Or you put a shield on before he hooks you and his hook fails.
I'm not that good at anticipating.
I'm not that good yet. Not yet.
I don't quite have that timing down or what to look for when it comes to him hooking me.
When you see a fat bloke come around the corner, you throw your shield up immediately.
It's pretty much like, oh, I've been hooked, quickly stick my shield on, and, because it's all over in a bit of a jiffy, the shield pretty much soaks up a bulk of the damage. I think it's just the hook's damage that I'd take.
The funny thing is, Roadhog can kill Zarya in one shot, even without grabbing her. It's very possible for him to do it if all the bullets hit from his right click. Well, I don't know what it is on console, but the alternative fire.
Yeah, the sort of medium range thing.
Just correctly to headshot immediately as it blows up, all the bullets hit her head. It kills her instantly. It does 400 damage. But that's if you're top tier Grandmaster Roadhog and you play nothing else but
Top tier
Roadhog.
Grandmaster Roadhog.
What's the
Oh god.
Roadhog? Where I
Certainly not the
right-click
sort of
and
thing I
kill
imagine
everything.
a Grandmaster being a thing. I think,
Well, I think a lot of people climb the ladder just playing Roadhog because
Yeah.
he's so strong.
I mean, I think the bulk of my progress has been with Zaya so far, but I think we are pretty much out of time now. We've had a
That's an hour already.
It is. That was a pretty dang good hour.
That's the meta of this podcast. You only get an hour.
Yeah, that's the meta time for the podcast is 1 hour.
The meta time. The most perfected idea of timing for this podcast was 1 hour.
But yes, anyway, I want to thank the viewers for joining us this month, and for Tom for
viewers.
actually being present and joining me this month.
Hello, me.
I
God
don't know
damn
what,
you, Emily.
I don't know what I'd have done if you'd have said, "Oh no, I can't do it."
It's like, all right, Xander's solo cast has begun.
I'd have basically just like, fuck it, we'll have to miss this month.
Like every other podcast problems. Fuck it, we'll do it next month.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty good chat. We've covered actually quite a bit this month. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for evidence on this bow thing. You better show me some morals.
I will send you like a YouTube video of. I can never remember if it was a composite bow or a compound bow, whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't care. It's a bow. Anyway,
it's gonna make some sound.
Before this gets me really bad, I'm going.
Right,
we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.